Yes, so as I earlier said, today we're going to talk about database and its types. So in organizations or companies, we deal with data day in, day out, and how to collect, analyze, and then store this data. Nowadays, most of the companies are facing a lot of challenges, and we are going to look at how to create simple database management systems to solve all these problems. Yes, so to start with, we need to know what a database is. So basically, we can say a database, okay? Database is an organized collection of structured information, okay, or data, typically stored electronically in a computer system. I hope you get that. So any organized collection of structured information, we talk about structured information here, it means that everything is well defined in rows and columns. That's structured, okay? It follows a particular pattern. Yes, so we are saying that a database is usually controlled by a database management system. I hope you get it. It's usually controlled by a database management system. So together, the data and the database management, along with applications that are associated with them, are referred to as a database system, and we often call it database. Yes, so if there is any concern about this, it will be addressed the next time we meet here. Alright, so we have some examples of these databases, okay? Examples of these databases. And the reason why we use this kind of database, as I said, is we want to easily access, manage, modify, update, control, and organize data in a modeled rows and columns. And this is done in a series of tables, okay, to make the processing and data querying efficient. So to query something simply means you are prompting or you are asking for an information from the system. That is to query. I hope you get it. That is to query, okay? So a typical example, or the most databases use structured query language, okay, for writing and querying data. Most of the databases, that's what they use, the language that they use to create such a management system. So when we talk about the structured query language, it's a programming language used by nearly all relational databases to query, manipulate, and define data, and to provide access control. And this structured query language was first developed at IBM in the 1970s, with Oracle as a major contributor of this kind of software. and this led to implementation of the standard SQL, okay, and it has been extended to many places now everywhere. So new programming languages are beginning to appear, and still this SQL is in existence. Alright, so we want to look at the evolution of this database, how it came about. Okay, so how this database came about. Databases have evolved dramatically since their inception in the early 1960s. So navigational databases such as the hierarchical database, which relied on a tree-like model and allowed only a one-to-many relationship, and the network database, a more flexible model that allowed multiple relationships, were the original systems used to store and manipulate data. Okay, but today SQL is in to replace all these things. I hope you get it. Yes, so these early systems were inflexible. So in the 1980s, relational databases became popular, followed by object-oriented databases in 1990s. More recently, no structured query language databases came about as a response to the growth of the internet and the need for faster speed and processing of unstructured data. Okay, and now we have cloud databases as well, and self-driving databases, and these are breaking new group when it comes to how data is collected, stored, managed, and utilized. So you see, every year or every 2 years, these systems are made in such a way that they will be changing to meet the needs of organizations. So using a very complex database management system to manage your organization, you find it difficult when you are dealing with a large amount of data. Okay, so taking your time to organize and then manipulate, store, update, or whatever you want to do, it takes time and it doesn't make the things accurate. Yes, so all this structured query language here has become something unique in such a way that we can just quickly query or type in something. Let's say I have collected data of let's say 1 million people all over the world, and I can go through this list one after the other to find out a particular name. But this structured query language will help you to just key in something. Okay, just type the person's name, or if there is a unique code that you use for each person, you just type in that unique code of the person, and automatically this system is designed in such a way that you just see every information about that person. And that's all about database using the structured query language. Okay, so one may be wondering as to so if we are saying that this SQL or this database is using rows and columns, does it mean it's the same as Excel, that spreadsheet? So we're going to look at the difference between this database and spreadsheet. Okay, so we are saying that a database and spreadsheet such as Microsoft Excel, that's the spreadsheet, okay, are both convenient ways to store information. Okay, yes, to store information. So the primary differences between the two are the following that I'm going to mention to you. So one says what? How the data is stored and manipulated is one different. So data stored in Excel looks quite different from that of the normal database, okay, let's say SQL. Now the next point says who can access the data. Okay, there is a difference there. You see, spreadsheet is something simple that everybody can just jump in. When the moment you take it, you understand certain things, but it deals with codes. Okay, so when you are using it, or when you are running a complex management system using spreadsheet, like you may in one way or the other just delete some kind of codes which will render everything invalid. Like you run everything invalid on the system. That means if you are calculating something, the moment something is deleted, or even links, the moment something is deleted or a particular code is deleted, you see in Excel, when you just click in a particular cell on the address bar, quickly you see the function or the formula over there. I hope you get it. So if that is the case, then is it that anyone can use Excel or not? I hope you get it. So you need to be trained on Excel before you can use it. But this structured query language, you see, everything is in VBA and it runs at the background. The codes are running at the background. So the person may just use the user interface to enter his or her name, date of birth, whatever he wants to do on the user interface without going to the back end. The back end will be, used by only the admin. The admin or the one who developed the software can only go there and then do something. So if I use SQL to do something for you and I did not tell you where that codes are or where you can go and get them, you can't do anything with it. So yours is to just enter your details and submit. Any manager who will sit behind the computer to manage can only have the admin panel to either delete, update, store, or whatever he wants to do on that particular database. I hope you get it. Yes. So who can access? Now, the next thing says how much data. Okay, how much data can be stored? How much data can be stored? How much data can be stored? Let's look at Excel. Let's look at Excel. Excel. One Excel worksheet, okay, goes like 1 million plus rows. It means when I'm using one Excel worksheet for collection of data in the whole Ghana or something, you see, Ghana, we are more than 1 million, okay, and I need everything in a row, okay, or let's say I need everything on one worksheet. So you can see that using Excel can limit us, even though we can create extra worksheets, okay, and even using this 1 million rows, 1 million plus rows, and the columns, okay, thousands of columns. What if the thing is full or the rows and columns are exhausted? It means I have to create a different worksheet. Maybe all that I'm doing, the links and the rest, I'm trying to run a simple system, but now when the moment you create extra sheet, it means there should be links, okay, using hyperlinks and the rest, VLOOKUP and the rest. So you can see it will make the whole thing very complex. But SQL2, you can use it very freely, okay, and then it can store a numerous data. Okay, so we are saying that the key difference are spreadsheets were originally designed for one user at a time, as I was saying, just one user at a time. And its characteristics reflect that. Because when I design a system for you using Excel or a spreadsheet, I put it on one computer, you sit behind the computer and start using it, because it can be offline. Even if it is online, yet it's only one user at a time. It means that someone cannot sit on a different PC and work on the same database system, then we all see the results at one place. No, that's not how Excel is. So they are very, very great for single user or small number of users. Okay, so that's Excel. Okay, and they don't need to do a lot of incredibly complicated data manipulation. So I said this, that is very, very simple, but if you're not careful, you can see what will happen. All right, and databases, on the other hand, are designed to hold much larger collections of organized information than massive amounts sometimes. Okay, so database allows multiple users at the same time to quickly and securely access and query the data using highly complex logic and language. I hope you get it. A similar thing is a similar SQL is the population and housing census system. Okay, population and housing census, the system they used. You see, when you go to, let's say, their office there, they use PHP and that's SQL to run so many codes on their management system. And you can see sometimes those who went for the school census, when you go there, someone will be seated behind one PC and can quickly jump onto someone's PC and be making entries. But at the same time, what the person is entering will also appear on the other PC. So that's how this database is. Yes. So to proceed with this, we're going to look at what are the types of databases. The types of databases. So the types, we have many different types. But the best database for a specific organization depends on how the organization intends to use the data. So we have so many types. Some of the databases, they use objects, okay, to represent a lot of things. So it can be in the form of, let's say, an icon which is clickable. So when you click on it, it opens to that particular portal, so you can make entries on whatever you want to do. Some of them are just, fields, test fields that you'll be entering things there, and a lot. So let's just dive into it and look at the types. So the first type I'll talk about is the relational database. Relational database. So relational database, we are saying that it became very, very dominant in the 1980s. And the items in a relational database are organized as a set of tables with columns and rows, meaning that the rows and columns that I was saying, a typical type of database that is used here is a relational database. So we say relational database, relation meaning when you are creating these tables, each row and each column should relate to the other, so that any information entered on this column, if the information is about A, okay, Okay, so on the same row, it means that, let's say, the first column or the first cell takes, let's say, Kwabena. Following the same row to the right, it should be information about Kwabena alone. So anything is related, so that when you query or when you ask the system to bring out information about Kwabena, it can quickly give you every information about Kwabena because you used relational or relations. So let's say Kwabena's father, you entered his father's name and so on, or his next of kin. Meaning, when you use relational database, all these things must be captured. So anytime you query about Kwabena, you see all this information because they are related. I hope you understand this. And so relational database technology provides the most efficient and flexible way to access structured information. So that's what I said. Alright, now the next thing to talk about is object-oriented databases. The information in object-oriented database is represented in the form of objects. So as the object-oriented programming, okay, is represented in the form of objects. So that's something simple and accurate, and you can see. So they will use objects. Then on the object, when you click, you see every information there, so you can just fill the form and then submit it, and that ends everything. I hope you get it. So that's all about object oriented, and we will start running these things. You start running these things and you will get to know how things will work on that. So we will be using SQL relational. So a typical example of a relational database, I'm taking you back. Typical example is Microsoft Access. Okay, Microsoft Access relational database. So we will talk about either Microsoft Access. Yes, I think that would be, or Q Basics. Okay, to create simple management systems. Alright, so let's look at the distributed let's look at the distributed database. A distributed database consists of two or more files located in different sites. So the database, okay, may be stored on multiple computers located in the same physical location or scattered over different networks. That's distributed. Okay, it means that it may contain two or more files, and these files are located in different sites. Okay, one of the file can be created and stored on, let's say, PC A, and the other can be created and stored on PC B. I hope you get it. So when you want to fill such a data, this means it will take a lot of time, right? So when you want to fill such a data, everywhere you go, or on any PC that you're using, you can just quickly, locate where that site is and start filling the form. But it is scattered. Okay, when something is scattered, I hope like getting on it will become difficult because you need to go here, go there, and as you can see, that's a disadvantage of that. But most of the organizations today, they use it because there is something like separation of powers, and what I am doing, you are not doing same. And to get efficient or sufficient outcome, you see, you need to divide everything, to each worker, so they will just work freely. So if I am talking of let's say the admin side and then the user interface aspect, so the admin side can be on a different PC, The user interface can be on a different PC. So the user interface, what I'm trying to mean is what the user will be entering. Okay, so if I am filling forms for people, mine is to only fill. I will not organize any data or manipulate any data or update anything, so that when someone comes into, let me see, when someone comes in to update his or her details, the person has a place to go, even though it's the same system. So the person has a place to go. I hope you get it. So they will do that for him. Let's say a typical example is when you go to the MTN office, they are running the same system, okay, but each and every one of them is having what he or she is doing. Okay, so let's say I want to update my details on my SIM card. There is a place or there is someone to attend to. Maybe I want to cash out or I have a cash out problem. There is a place to attend to. Even though the first person I will attend to based on my details updating can also perform the same thing. But to save time, they have divided all these things to each and every one of them. So when you come, you don't need to waste time. So they have scattered the whole thing. When you go here, the interface the person is using looks different from this one. At the end of the day, every information collected is going to be accumulated on one dashboard, and they will be able to see the number of transactions per day, the number of updating that they did for the day, the number of a whole lot. I hope we get that. So that is distributed. Now we have another one called the data warehouse. The data warehouse, where a central repository for data. A data warehouse is a type of data specifically designed for fast query and analysis. So this data warehouse is also a type of database that is designed for fast querying and analysis. So you can just quickly enter, then you see every information. Is also a new system that they are using. So that's another type of database. That we have another one called the NoSQL database, no structured query language. No structured. So as the name goes, no structured, okay, or no relational. So the structured one is relational. I hope you get that. The structured one is relational. That's the relational database. Okay, that's structured. So the no structured or non-relational database allows unstructured and semi-structured data to be stored and manipulated. So in contrast to a relational database, which defines how all data inserted into the database must be composed, no structured query language databases grew popular as web applications became more common and more complex. So they use this no structured database to make sure that unstructured or semi-structured data can also be stored and manipulated. So even if your data is not structured, so you can use this no structured query language to run your business. Okay, to run your business. There are some databases that are not structured. You can just mix the whole thing up. It is not in rows and columns, yet you can use them. That's when PHP comes in. I hope you get that. You can use PHP and the rest to do all these things. Yes. So we have another one called the graph database. So this graph database stores data in terms of entities and the relationship between entities. Okay, the relationship between entities. So yes, so that is it. All right, so all these are the types of databases. All this, you have the document or the JSON database as well. All this one, the cloud database, are the open source database, which you learn them more when we are dealing with the course, okay, when we are dealing with the course. All right, so we have the multi-level as well, the self-driven databases. That's the newest and the most groundbreaking type of database. Okay, it is now rocking the whole place. It is also known as autonomous databases. So they are cloud-based and use machine learning to automate database tuning, security, backups, the update, and other routine management tasks traditionally performed by database administrators. So that is it. That is all about the data types or the database types. Okay, database types. Yes. So I left some of the types behind because at per our course we are not going to concentrate on most of them, so that's why I left them behind. All these ones I left them behind, but I'll talk about them in our next video. Okay, I'll talk about them in our next video. So that is it. So you're going to look at the software of a database. The database software is used to create. That's the use of the software, database software. So example of a database software is what? MySQL, then we have Microsoft Access and the rest. So the software, the same database software is used to create, edit, and maintain database files and records, enabling easier file and record creation, data entry, data editing, updating, and reporting. So the software also handles data storage, backup, and reporting, multi-access control, and security. So strong database security is especially important today as data theft becomes more frequent. So database software is sometimes also referred to as database management system. That's DBMS, database management system. So that's database software. Database management system is also called database software. I hope you get it. So database software makes data management simpler by enabling users to store data in a structured form and then access it. It typically has graphical interface to help create and manage data, and in some cases users can construct their own databases by using database software. Okay, so we are going to look at what a database management system is, but before that, when you are creating a database software, it means that you need to be vigilant about the security aspect, because data breaching is now, taking the whole place. People are there buying information about people from companies, so they can use such information to create fake accounts and the rest, and they can use it to hack people, scam people, and the rest. So when they are looking for the original person who did that scam or who did that hacking, it will be difficult for them to see. And before you realize, assuming they used your own data, like your data, you can see how it will be. So when you are filling a form, sometimes they provide a place or a field for your phone numbers, your email addresses. They will ask you to log in, and then when you are logging in, you definitely use a password. All these informations are sensitive, and anytime somebody have access to this, it means the person can use such information to work against you, and you can see. So the security aspect is very, very key. It's very, very key. All right, so let's look at what the management system is. The DBMS is that it typically requires comprehensive database software program known as database management system. So this database management system serves as an interface between the database and its end users or programs, allowing users to retrieve, update, and manage how the information is organized and optimized. So this is just a software, okay, that will serve as an interface where you can just enter there and then start recording your details over there, and these details later on you can retrieve them. Okay, you can retrieve all these details, you can update them, you can manage them, and the information is organized and optimized as well. Something like Facebook, okay, when you fill or when you create your profile on Facebook and later on you think the name on it, you don't need it, since they use this database management system over there to create their login platform, you can easily go there and then move to settings and you look for personal information, then you start to edit every information from your phone number to email address, your name, your password, everything. You can change them. Okay, that's where we are saying you can update and manage how the information is organized. Okay, you can change everything from that side. That means they use this database to create all those things. Okay, yes. So the database management system also facilitates oversight and control of databases, enabling a variety of administrative operations such as performance monitoring, tuning and backup, and also recovery. So this database also gives a back-end interface, that's the admin side, where they can monitor the performance, the number of people who has been jumping onto the system day in, day out. They can recover someone's account for him or her when the person's account is blocked, or when the person accidentally forgets his or her password. I hope you get it. Yes, so they can help in all those things, and they can also back up every information. So even if the system is jammed, after restoring the system, they can just recover all those information. Yes, so we want to look at some examples of popular database software, okay, or database management systems. As I said, we have the MySQL. It's a software that is used to create all those databases. Then we have Microsoft Access. I said it here. We have Microsoft SQL Server. We have FileMaker Pro. FileMaker Pro is there. Oracle Database is also there. Then DBase is also there. I hope you get that. All these things are softwares that can be used to create either a relational database or no SQL database or whatever you want to create. Okay, but popularly these examples are all relational databases. They are all relational databases. I hope you get it. Yes, so the DBase, the Oracle database, this Oracle database here is online based. Okay, it's online based, so you go online, you can learn more from them, and it's a company altogether. We have something like Oracle University, where you can just jump onto that place and then you start with them. See, but nothing is for free. Okay, nothing is for free, so you can learn more about databases with them as well. All right, so MySQL, when we say MySQL, that it's an open source relational database. Open source, I hope you get that, database management system based on SQL. So it was designed and optimized for web applications and can run on any platform. So as new and different requirements emerged with the internet, MySQL became the platform of choice for web developers and web-based applications because it is designed to process millions of queries and thousands of transactions. MySQL is a popular choice for e-commerce business that need to manage multiple money transfers. On-demand flexibility is the primary feature of MySQL. So MySQL is the database management system behind some of the top websites and web-based applications in the world, including Airbnb, Uber, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So as I was saying, you see Facebook, YouTube, everything. That's why on Facebook you can go and edit your details later. YouTube, you can put videos there. You can go then delete those videos and then you add more videos. You can do a lot of things. You can change your account. You can do a lot of things on YouTube. LinkedIn is the same thing. So they used what? MySQL, which is my structured query language. I hope you get it. To create all these things. Yes. So as you can see, we are now moving on to how to use databases to improve business performance and decision making. Alright, so all I will say from here is, with massive data collection from the Internet of Things transforming life and industry across the globe, businesses today have access to more data than ever before. So forward-thinking organizations can now use databases to go beyond basic data storage and transactions to analyze vast quantities of data from multiple systems. So using database and other computing business intelligence tools, organizations can now leverage the data they collect to run more efficiently, enable better decision making, and become more agile and scalable. Okay, so optimizing access and throughput to data is critical to business today because there is more data volume to track. So it's critical to have a platform that can deliver the performance, skill, and agility that business needs as they grow over time. So the self-driving database is poised to provide a significant boost to these capabilities. So because self-driven databases automate expensive, time-consuming manual processing, they free up business users to become more proactive with their data. So by having direct control over the ability to create and use databases, users gain control and autonomy while still maintaining important security standards. I hope you get it. Yes, so these things nowadays, the whole world, everybody is collecting a lot of data. Look at Cambridge University. Look at Unicaf University. Look at this University of the People. Look at Facebook. Look at LinkedIn. Look at YouTube, Instagram. Day in, day out, people are creating accounts over there. So assuming all these things, they didn't use a management system to track all this, and they had to do it manually. You can see they won't get that time to do it. Now everything is automated, so the moment you enter or you make any entries, the system itself will start organizing things for you. A typical example is when you're using Google Forms. Okay, after creating your Google Forms, when you send it to people so they can fill the form, okay, they can fill the form. These Google Forms will now base on your questions, okay, the questions you typed in the system. So let's say name of student, gender, address, and the rest, okay, the hometown. So Google Forms will put all this under different categories, okay. So the gender aspect, it will be percentage wise. Now the number of people who will submit the data, this Google Forms will now look at that and look at those who are males and those who are females. So percentage wise, automatically the system will just show you the percentage of males to females or females to males. Location, let's say hometown, Ejura. Then we have Kase, Kumasi, Accra, and the rest. Google Forms will also put every town or hometown in different categories, and then you can see it will be percentage wise, okay. So you see the town with the highest number of users. That's a similar thing that Facebook and the rest they use. So the moment you fill the form, I'm from Ghana. Like Ghana, you are a Ghanaian, you are from a town called Ejura, blah 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 blah. So at the back end of Facebook admin panel, they will be able to see the number of people in Ejura, the number of people from Accra, the number of people from Los Angeles, the number of people from, let's say, Qatar, the number of people from Kuwait. You can see in that order. They are not going to do that. It has been automated for the system to perform all these things. So the moment the name comes, then you will see. You start to see from their side. They will see those from Kumasi, those from Accra, those from Ejura, those from America, those from Egypt, those from Colombia, those from Morocco, those from Tanzania, Uganda. Like, the system has been automated using this database management system, and it's autonomous. So these are the self-driven or self-driving databases. I hope you get it. Yes. So there are a lot of platforms that perform critical analysis. Okay. Yes. So with Facebook, even though all these things are automated, there are people who are watching or monitoring all these things, so they can know the number of people who are jumping onto their systems every day, and they will know the amount they are getting per day. That's why Bill Gates, when you have to access Bill Gates, income per day, that every 1 second, every 1 second, he gets like $127 into his account. The reason is they have created a particular system that is able to analyze the number of people who uses his platform to create those traffics. Okay, every day people uses Microsoft Word, Excel, Access a lot. People logs into their Google platforms and the rest, and all these things are from Bill Gates company. I hope you get it. So the clicks, the bundles, everything that you're using, people are purchasing things and the rest, then it will be accumulating automatically. Then no one will sit down per day. Let's say about hundreds of millions of people jumped onto his system. I don't think people can sit down to analyze all these things manually. So automatically it will just do things for you. So that's it about this performance and decision making. So they can sit there and decide that no, now we have money, so some of our services we can just make it free. No, now we are running out of money, so some of our services, let's make them paid for, so people can pay and then we get something to update or to speed up our work. You can see that's decision making. Let's look at the world. What are the demands of people? What are the questions people are asking about our product? Let's do this, let's do that. They can just decide quickly on these things and all that. You can see how things will be. So let's look at the challenges. Let's look at the challenges of database. Challenges. So today's large enterprise databases often support very complex queries and are expected to deliver nearly instant responses to those queries. Okay, so as I said, when you query a system, it means you're asking the system to bring out an information about that query. Okay, so when you enter someone's name into the database, it means quickly the system should just bring out an information over there. So as a result, database administrators are constantly called upon to employ a wide variety of methods to help improve performance. So some common challenges that they face include: 1. Absorbing significant increases in data volume. So the explosion of data coming in from sensors, connected machines, and dozens of other sources keeps database administrators scrambling to manage and organize their company's data efficiently. So it means that if you have a company and your database management team, like when they collect a lot of data per day, and this system is not working very fast, it makes their work very difficult, and they need a lot of people because a lot of machines. There are some machines that are slow, and the rest. Sometimes they may get network problems. and all these things will absorb a lot of time, okay, or it will take a lot of time. And looking at the volume of data per day, let's assume Facebook, you can see people are putting videos and the rest over there, okay. It means they need a lot of data volume, okay, like the storage capacity should also be high, okay. So these things keeps the database administrators, their work becomes difficult. So it means that when you are running such a database in your company, you need more experienced personnel, and also you need to be updating to ensure everything will be fast. Keep on updating, keep on adding new ideas, keep on enhancing your system so that even if the places or the system is overloaded, yet it can speed up. You need to update in your system day in, day out. Alright, so the next point says ensuring security. So I've explained this point earlier on, that data breaches are happening everywhere, okay, nowadays, okay, and people will just use this method to get money from people. I can just get your information from a company, and I will just call you up and ask you that I have this information with me, so I need an amount, so I can just delete it. If not, I will not delete it, and this is not good, okay. So it's more important than ever to ensure that data is secure but also easily accessible to users. So WhatsApp, like this, they use end-to-end encryption to encrypt data, so that when you are talking to someone elsewhere will not see. I hope you get it. Yes. Facebook, when you post something, that's when you just post something generally to the general public, everybody will just see that. WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted, so when you create a group and you post something, it means people on the group will only see. When you're making a call, Facebook is also like that. People that you call will only hear what you're saying, but easily will the person record and publish you out there. WhatsApp, it will go out there, but the rate at which it will spread will be lower as compared to that of Facebook. So the security is not all that strong on Facebook, and that's why people are being able to create fake accounts and use it to hack people and all that. So it means Facebook must work on their security aspect, because someone can just sit somewhere and create any account at all. The verification on Facebook, they need to work on it as well. So you need to verify your account, upload your IDs, so they will know that this account is very, 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 very unique. Okay, I can just use my nickname, then I create an account on Facebook, and that's not good. Yes. Alright, keeping up with demand. So in today's fast moving business environment, companies need real-time access to their data to support timely decision making and to take advantage of new opportunities. Yes. So looking at the demanding aspect to all these challenges are there, so people or organization will need a lot of well-skilled people so they can just work accurately, and all information must be at hand. So if they want to decide on something, as I use Google Forms as an example, whatever you're doing, it will be percentage wise, so you can easily see a lot of things. So it means that there are countries where, or if you are using these Google Forms to analyze things, or let's say Facebook, there are countries where they are not patronizing, so you can easily just take away that country from your system so that your system will be free. Something like PayPal, you see, Ghana is not allowed to use it, because when they added Ghana to their countries list or their country list, they were able to realize that Ghana is not patronizing the system, so there is no need allowing Ghanaians to use PayPal. That's why they've taken PayPal out of the system. Okay, So the demand also shows when the demand goes high, and they can just fix in things to meet every requirement. Now, another point is managing and maintaining the database and infrastructure. So database administrators must continually watch the database for problems and perform preventative maintenance, as well as apply software upgrades and patches. So they need to be watching all these things. So if there is the need to update or upgrade the system, you upgrade it just to avoid all problems. Okay, so the system can run freely. So they have to also remove limits on scalability. So a business needs to grow if it's going to survive, and the data management must grow along with it. But it's very difficult for database administrators to predict how much capacity the company will need, particularly with on-premises databases. Okay, so when you're using accurate databases, it means that all these things must be ensured. So there shouldn't be limits. When you start a business, the business must grow. That's the only thing to put in mind. So the moment you have that thing in mind, it means that you need to be working towards that direction, that the business is growing. Bill Gates started small. Now Bill Gates is boom. Now he's having a lot of money. He's making it. Bill Gates can sleep for 100 years, yet his business is working 24/7. I hope you get it. Yes. So all these things are making the whole thing better and better again, ensuring data residency, data sovereignty or latency requirement. Okay. Yes. So all these systems must be pre-configured and pre-optimized for running the database. Okay. So customers all over the world will not have problems. Okay. So the challenges that businesses must be facing are these few ones I've listed above, and yes, that's it. So we are going to look at how autonomous technology is improving database, and this will be done on the self-driven or driving databases, and these are the wave of the future. Okay, and this self-driving offers an intriguing possibility for organizations that want to use the best available database technology without the headaches of running and operating that technology. So a self-driven database use cloud-based technology, and example is the Oracle Cloud or oracle.com. Okay, yes. So these are the machine learning, and they are to automate many of the routine tasks required to manage databases, such as tuning, security, backups, updates, and other routine management tasks. So with this tedious task automated, database administrators are freed up, okay, to do more strategic work. So something like introducing a robot. Now you can implement something on a robot, so that robot can be there to manage a lot of things in your organization, so the human beings over there will have time to think critically ahead of what will happen in the future. So robots will now take over, and that's automated. Okay, robots are automated to perform a lot of tasks. So a robot can be there, just you see robot, they use barcode readers to just scan through things, so they can just scan and predict things very fast. Okay, yes, so they can type fast as well based on how you program it to work. Okay, and this one will enable performance advantages, and it will lower cost, because when you are to hire someone, so the person will be performing all these things. You can see company like Bill Gates company, and it's all everywhere is human beings. You can see how costly that will be. But when you just get money and you build a robot which can just perform things for you, you see, you used a lot of money to purchase that, but it will save you in the future because you bought it a one-time buying and you are not going to buy it again unless maybe if there is a problem you just try to fix it. Yes, something like when you're running a school and definitely a student will write exam, always you send your questions out there for typing and printing. It's costly. You can just purchase something, or you can just get someone to be typing it. So you send the questions after typing, you send it out there to print, or you can even get your own printer. You type and print it. Though the printer is costly, but when you just buy it for once, maybe some kind of maintenance that you'll be doing. I hope you understand. Yeah, so similar to this one, you can just get things, so things will be reduced for you. Now, when you get a robot, the security aspect becomes very tight because a lot of human beings will be somewhere monitoring the robots and the rest, and their workload will also be reduced. I hope you get that. Yes, so that is the future of the databases we are talking about. So Oracle Cloud is also there, and Wikibon 2021 report says the autonomous, or the first autonomous, which was announced in the late 2017, and multiple independent industry analysts, who is that Wikibon, just reported it to be the great one ever because everything is automated in that system, and we can see how best that thing will be. Yes, so this is just the introductory aspect of this database. Now we will learn how to create and use queries. Okay, how to create and use queries, and a whole lot. So how to create and use queries, we'll talk about that. And then let me see, trying to show those things up here. So how to create and use queries is here. Yes, so we'll talk about this, and how to use index. Yes, use an index to assist in a group retrieval. Okay, declare appropriate data type and field length. So we are going to use SQL. Okay, basic SQL functions such as minimum, sum, average, and the rest. Okay, apps and the rest, the statement to select and the rest. So this is more or less Q basics. So these are the things that we'll talk about. We will be creating database later. That's what we just did, is just the introductory aspect. Yes, so thank you very much for your time. If there is any question or concern, you can bring it out so we address that, and this note will also be sent to you in addition to the video. Thank you.